Hello everyone, how are you all? No, today we are not going to talk about the science portion. Today we are going to solve the practical journals which you have got. See, this is the index of your journals page, and we are not going to solve all the practicals. Of course, we are going to do the selected practicals. Yes, practical number 3, 6, 9, 10, and 13. Okay, and you have to listen to all the practicals carefully and you have to complete your journals. Let's start. Practical number 3. It's about the food chain. See, we have already studied about the food chain. A food chain starts from the producers, then it goes on from the primary consumer to the secondary consumer, and finally the tertiary consumer or the apex consumer, and from the apex consumer to the decomposers. Here you have one blank space or a box which is given for drawing a food chain. Now this is your homework, that you will draw one food chain that you know. Fine. Now on the next page we have this. See, you have to mention the tropic level of each picture given below. So what are the tropic levels? Come on, I'll tell you. The crops are the producers, of course. The rat is a primary consumer, then the snake is a secondary consumer, and finally the eagle is a tertiary consumer. Got? Next we have the fill-ups which you have to fill. If the secondary consumer in the above picture are completely destroyed, dash will be increased in number. What will increase in number? Of course, rats will be increased if snakes are not there. And tertiary consumers in the above food chain is dash apex consumer. It is the last level consumer. And if the population of rats increases, what will be destroyed? Crops will be destroyed, of course. And now at the bottom you have one conclusion. What is the tropic relationship? We can say that each link in a food chain is called as a tropic level, which represent the position of an organism in an ecosystem or in a food chain. Got it? This was practical number 3. Now turn the page. Now we'll come to practical number 6. That is the study of microbes or rhizobia. Actually, in this practical you were supposed to make a slide of rhizobia and then you have to record the observation and then draw the diagram. But now as you people are at home, you have to just draw the diagram which is given in the book. The same diagram you can draw, but no need to draw whatever is there on the corners. You just have to draw this part which is there in the center with label. Understood? And that's it for this practical. Now practical number 9 is study of stomata. I hope you people remember stomata are the openings which are present on the leaves of the plants. And here we have the stomata of monocot and dicot leaves, and all you have to do is you have to just label them properly. Okay, so we'll begin with the first diagram, that is the peeling of the lower epidermis of the dicot or sunflower leaf showing a stomata. See here, the first arrow shows the stomatal opening, the second one is the guard cell, the third is the chloroplast, and the fourth one which is down, it is the epidermal cell. Got it? Write all the names properly. Now we'll move on to the next diagram. This is a single stomata of a dicot leaf which is magnified. These are the guard cell. Below the guard cell we have the nucleus, then the epidermal cell, then we have a stomatal opening or stomatal pore which you can say. Then we have the subsidiary cells, and here we have chloroplast, and the last one is the outer wall. You have to write all the names very properly. The third diagram is the peeling from a monocot or maize leaf. Here we have only 3 labelings. First is the subsidiary cells, then we have the epidermal cells which are blank, and the last are the guard cells. Look at the diagram properly and write the names. And the last diagram which we have is a single stoma of a monocot leaf which is magnified. Here again we have only 3 labeling. First is the subsidiary cells, second is the guard cell, which is at the top, and the third one is the epidermal cell. Got it? Now, the next practical is practical number 10, that is phototropism. I hope you people know what actually mean by phototropism. We have to take a wooden box or a cardboard box and we have to cut out a window out in it so that the sunlight enters only through that window, and then we have to keep a potted plant in the box and we have to keep that plant undisturbed for a week, and then we have to note down the observation and then answer the questions. Okay, come on, let's start. Answer the first question. Where does the stem of the growing plant keep in a box turn? Where will be the stem moving? The stems of the growing plant of the box moves towards the hole from where sunlight is coming. Second, why does the stem turn towards the light? What do you think? The stem of the plant moves towards sunlight to generate energy through the process called as photosynthesis. Which part of the plant grows away from the light? Which part will grow away from the light? Normally the shoot and the leaves grow towards the light, whereas the roots grow away from sunlight. Very good. Now next question is fill-ups, of course, from the bracket given below. First, hormone induces growth of a shoot. Auxin. Second, roots of a plant show dash while stems show dash movement. Roots will show heterotropic movement, whereas stems will show phototropic movement. If the leaves of the plant are seen wilted, then it is the action of abscisic acid. Very good. Now, next practical is practical number 13, that is study of the plant tissues. We have two type of plant tissues, parenchyma and sclerenchyma. And all you have to do is you have to just label the diagrams and answer the following questions. Okay, the first diagram is of parenchyma and the labelings are primary cell wall, and next one is intercellular space. Understood? Below that you have some questions like write any three characteristics of parenchyma cells. So these are the three characteristics of the parenchyma cell, that the parenchyma tissue is generally found in all the plants. The cells are living and the intercellular space are present. Second question is describe the function of parenchyma. What function does parenchyma cells do? The main function of parenchyma is to provide support and to store food. In some plants, parenchyma carries photosynthesis, and in aquatic plants, large air cavities are present in parenchyma. And the next question is any two type of parenchyma cells that perform a definite function, and what are their functions? So the two cells are xylem that carries water and mineral from roots to the leaves, and another one is phloem which carries the food prepared by the leaves to different parts of the plant. Understood? Now the next tissue that we are going to study is sclerenchyma. See, this is the diagram of sclerenchyma. All you have to do is just you have to label it. The first label is secondary wall and the second one is the empty lumen. Now we'll write the question answers which are given below. Any three characteristics of sclerenchyma cell? Three characteristics. First, the cells are often living and have distinct nucleus. The cell walls are thin and they often contain chlorophyll. The second question is the functions of sclerenchyma. See, the first function is to provide mechanical strength, second is to provide flexibility, and the third one is to help in photosynthesis. Understood? Now the next question we have is distinguish between parenchyma and sclerenchyma according to their characteristics, structure and function. Now see here. Parenchyma and sclerenchyma. Cells are thin-walled in parenchyma whereas it is thick in sclerenchyma. Parenchyma are living cells whereas sclerenchyma are dead cells. In parenchyma, cells are loosely packed whereas in sclerenchyma they have spaces between them. Parenchyma stores nutrients and water in the stem and roots, whereas sclerenchyma provides strength to the plant. Parenchyma contains chlorophyll and hence help in photosynthesis. On the other hand, sclerenchyma are long and narrow and make the plant hard and stiff. So this is all what you have to write. The only thing you have to do is you have to complete all these 5 practicals in your journals. Write all the answers properly. Here we are at the end of our session. Hope you have got all the answers properly. So complete your journal and do submit it for a good marks and a very good luck for your exams. Study well and take care of yourself.